We talked about this earlier. We also talked about how in today's society, especially the younger generations, millennials, are quick to respond. You have Facebook, you have Twitter, and sometimes people will say things politically, religiously, even what's going on in the Middle East or across continents. They're going to respond immediately without even a chance to think. So what's really happening is your emotions are talking, right? And so if I were to walk the earth and my emotions were to talk for me all the time, I wouldn't have a business or friends or family. You don't have that moment, you don't have that pause. And what I think is so awesome about going analog to digital, we can even use that terminology, is that if I write my views as a Republican or Democrat or whomever to the other person on the other side of the aisle, and I have things to say as I'm saying Democrat, whether I'm not going to say my political affiliation right now, but let's say as a Democrat, I'm writing a letter to a Republican about my views. And I write that letter and I send that letter to the Republican, he reads it, as opposed to just fighting back immediately on Facebook or Twitter. You start writing that letter and you start thinking about what you're saying. You start to take into consideration what's coming out of your mind and into that pen and out of your heart. And all of a sudden, I believe, because I haven't really participated yet, what I believe happens, because I used to write letters, I used to love to receive letters. I used to look, did I get the letter yet?
I feel like everyone has that memory.
Right. What then happens is that response then is much more, it's given more consideration and time and thought and feeling. And I think what you then have is you're putting back into society what I think we're missing today is dialogue, is debate, is the ability to have a conversation and talk to each other and listen to each other, because I can digest your letter, I can have emotions about it, but then I'm going to write it and rewrite it because do I really want to say this? And then you send it back and you've created the ability for people to kind of talk to each other and listen, and that's so important today.
Especially when I'm an old millennial, and you're a seasoned
I've got
gentleman.
my nurse waiting for me.
But I think that this could be quite a revolutionary idea for some younger folks that really haven't had to do the long form sort of debate or thought processes around writing and defending and composing a letter the way that we have to remind kids that the internet's forever, because they'll send such quick, maybe emotionally driven sound bites or quick messages. But I don't think you need to remind kids. They do go through that whole process of thinking and knowing that this is going to be on paper for a long time. I just don't think that we have to remind ourselves of that. It's almost intuitive, like this is meant to stand the test of time.